Hello, bonjour, Savan. How are you? It's night. Well, it's coming up to 10 o'clock. I'm sorry for the spooky darkness here, but I've turned out the lights so that you can see outside because the fireworks, somebody just set off a bunch of fireworks. There's going to be a huge display at 10, and I think it's just before 10. Let me check it out. Oh, it's quarter to. That must have just been somebody playing around with stuff. So let me turn the light back on, and then I was going to give a little message, and then after that, I'll turn the light off here so you can see better through the window, and we'll watch the fireworks together. Give me a moment, please. There we go. Okay. So, just got in from my walk. I'm melting. Yes. Although right now it's only about 32. It was up at like 47 today. I didn't go out until the sun was setting. Just too much for me. Um, yeah, I know. We're all getting hit hard with a bunch of really wonky weather, right? Yeah. The topic I was getting today was kind of riling me up a bit. Um, Gosh, I really don't like having these discussions about masculine um, and the feminine, you know, going head to head, the division, the separation. But there has been an assault on our divine feminine aspect of selves, higher selves, for quite some time. Um, excuse me. So I was doing stuff today around here trying to keep cool. And I had the YouTube, as is my habit or pattern. I had the YouTube running in the background while I'm going around doing the stuff that I wanted to do. And one rolls into the other, as I've said before. There were some news channels that came up. I can't remember, CNN, BBC, I don't know, the regular, your mainstream news media outlets. And they were coming on. And it was all the same topic, one right after the other. And it was all about these, and I did a video or two before this um, about the people who have moved into, Britain and Europe and, gosh, Scandinavia. And they were referring to them as the rape gangs going around, especially Britain, targeting young girls. Um, this is upsetting. I don't like talking about this stuff, but we're gonna look at it anyway. So these politician, the news people, it was in Australia as well, apparently. So they're coming out now to talk about this because it's like crazy epidemic. What was one statistic? And again, we don't know. I don't know. People throw numbers around. How do I know if they're right or not? I'm just giving you what I was watching, and then we'll channel some information about our deception going on here as I'm hearing it, and in regards to the masculine and the feminine. Excuse me. This affects, yeah, I can tell I don't want to talk about it. This affects us all, okay? Everybody is included in this. So the numbers are extraordinarily high. Something's got to be done to protect the women and the children. And I think and I don't follow the news, as you know, but I think that's the first time I've seen that. So they wanted to change the names of these gangs. Apparently, some people were calling them Asian gangs. They didn't believe it was that. they were trying to find the culture of the group and how to name them or label them, and they came up with several cultures, several names in particular, but they decided to kind of, name them all under the Pakistani group. And I was listening to all of this information as I was going about doing my work around the place here today. It's very disturbing to hear of the things and see some of the videos that they showed, clips of what the men are doing to the women and the children. I mean, children. Ideologies so vastly different, where apparently the men are taught that, like, it's okay to rape, and it's okay to, if you're dressed in a certain way, it's okay if it's a child. There's no age limit apparently in this ideology. No age limit at all. So there were these videos with the men, going after the young little girls even. So, I mean, there's only so much we can take of watching that and listening to that. And I thought, I wasn't surprised, to be quite honest with you. I was not surprised about them labeling, kind of, zeroing in on the Pakistani men. Apparently, I can't imagine, or can't believe, I could be wrong, that it's every single male there in the country. From what I was understanding, there's certain groups are being taught and groomed, as they called it, to do these acts. So the young men, single young men, they seem to be targeting this. Again, I'm just telling you what I have been watching. If it's something I really am not wanting to watch, then I just flip it on to the next one. But I just kept, it's like, I got to watch a few of these to see, where we're at. Sometimes we got to tune in and see, okay, where's the 3D world at? How are we coming along here? How is the shift coming along? Where are we at? Kind of rock bottom, I would say, from this stuff I was watching. But I remember, oh, I'm hearing them. Are they starting? Not yet. I'll stop talking when it starts, when all the fireworks begin, okay? And I'm going to turn this light off as well. But decades ago, and I was trying to remember how old I was when I was watching some of these shows, like, it's decades, I'm serious, decades ago. And there was this, I don't know if you'd call it a documentary, but somebody went through with cameras and, gaining information in these very small villages in Pakistan where the religious people ruled, clerics, I think they're called them. And they were teaching their ideologies about, how men can pretty much do whatever they want to a woman or a child. And there was an actual scene in the house where the husband and wife, and they had a little boy, and he had treated her well to a point. And then when the boy turned about 5, I think, don't quote me on that, but was very young, he sat him down in front of his mother. They were both sitting down on the floor, and he told his son to slap his mother across the face and to hit her. And the little boy didn't want to do it, so he was refusing. So, of course, the father would go after the boy. So the boy's in tears and sobbing and doesn't want to do it. The mom's crying and sobbing. And the father literally made him do it so many times until he really hurt his mother. Little boy obviously loved his mom, didn't want to do that, but the father literally forced him to do that. And this show was telling us that this is what is done. So then I remember thinking at the time, well, if the boys are raised this way, and again, I don't know, maybe it's just the outward, backward little villages, maybe it's not the main centers of the big cities, I don't know. But if even a certain portion of the males were taught this, and then they grew up, that they could hit or abuse their mother whenever they felt like it, sort of thing. In fact, it was encouraged, it was promoted, as they call it, grooming nowadays. Then this is ingrained in them. So it's not just divine feminine who has been attacked. As we did mention before, the masculine, divine masculine's been under the gun too. So this is what is coming out now. So after all those shows, I thought, okay, I'm done. That's enough for now. So I was asking, okay, the question, well, what is this really about? And what I was getting was then more news came on, but it wasn't about that. It was a different topic. It was about the child sex trade and how the white young girls are the ones being targeted. They're the most valuable, apparently, on the market. So then I saw all this information coming out, the statistics. Who knew they have statistics? Statistics about how many of these young girls are kidnapped, stolen, taken, sold, whatever, into this worldwide trade. And again, the numbers are staggering. They're appalling. It's like, seriously? How come nobody knows about this? So then I realized, well, of course, this is with this immigration issue, the migrants. They really talk a lot about Somalis. They name the different countries where these rape gangs are from. They're said they're groomed by certain men, that it's okay to do that. In fact, it's encouraged to do that. So from going from that topic, how can that seem more palatable to people? But that's the way it seems to be. The ideas or the truth is being shown to people through that, because it's step by step, right? It's baby steps. Epstein came first, the shock and the horror of all that stuff coming out, and then all the people, and it's not just men, but a lot of the men involved. And now it's into the migrants and the rape gangs and the murders that they commit. And now from there, it seems to be, burgeoning into the bigger, vaster stream of the whole world viewing this worldwide sex trade business. Well, apparently a lot of the mafias around the world are involved in this. Whole bunch of people in top positions in the world. It's devastating. It's horrifying. There are a lot worse things, which I'm not going to go into. We do know, I'll just mention briefly about the subterranean places where they keep children and do horrible things to them for, obtaining certain substances from them. It's supposed to keep you youthful or whatever. Anyway. So that's what came through, is that this is just another stepping stone into the big revelation of what's been going on your world and on your planet for a very long time. So this attack on the divine feminine has got to stop. And let me just check if this is the real deal. Yes, this is now the real deal. But yes, that's going to be the end of that and the end of this. And I'm going to turn the light off and we can watch it as much as we're able to. If not, I'll just wrap up and that'll be that. I don't see it. Maybe this isn't going to work after all. No, you're not able to see it. Okay. I was kind of hoping we could, but anyway, you can hear it, I'm sure. So we'll just wrap up our little talk or message or whatever. From what I understand from some other information I've gathered is that Mary, as in Mother Mary, yeah, it's putting a stop to it. Mother Earth, the attack on her, that's being stopped. Everything is in conclusion now, right? This is no longer going to be the case. Everybody will be exposed. Everything is going to be exposed. But we have to do this a little bit at a time because it's so much to take in and it's way too overwhelming for some, not for others, but for a lot of you here residing on your world and on your planet. So all of this energy is being taken care of. It's going to be released along your downlines of time, and you will be able to see more of the resistance towards the feminine disappear, and the beauty and the gathering of the light and the higher light to embellish the female insight. It will be a higher light, and it will give you great delight. Okay, so Divine Feminine will be elevated once more to her proper place, and the light and love will shine again on the human race. God bless. We give you peace, love, and grace. We are speaking to you from our higher place. Okay, well, I'm going to wrap that up. I want to go see the fireworks. That's really what this is about. So, sorry we couldn't see it. I have to go find another location. Anyway, blessings. Take care of yourselves and others, and we'll speak with you again. Bye for now.